Hi California Rainbow, it's Caitlyn, Grand Faith, and representative to Australia and the Orient Pacific, and today I will be making majarete. Majarete is a Puerto Rican pudding that's been in my family for as long as I can remember, and past that, and this is what you're going to need. You're going to need a big pot, you're going to need 1 can of cream of coconut, we use the Goya brand, you're going to need 6 ounces of raisins. It's about half a box of a big box. 3 cups of milk. You're gonna need 1.5 to 1 tablespoons of cinnamon. You're gonna need 6 tablespoons of sugar. And you're gonna need 3/4 cups of rice flour. We also use the Goya brand. Don't forget to wash your hands before you do this too, just because it's always a good thing to do. So I'm about to dump in 1 can of coconut cream. And in this recipe, once it's cooked, you don't actually taste the coconut. And I can vouch for that because my mom absolutely does not like coconut, but she loves this dish. Okay, so next I'm gonna add my 3/4 cup of Goya rice flour. Goya's a Puerto Rican company, so that's kind of why we use it, but there are other companies that make rice flour. And just add it to the pot. Fun fact about the rice flour, so when my great-grandmother would tell us the recipe, she would just make it, so we didn't actually have a recipe. But when she told it to us, she told my mom it was 3 teaspoons. They weren't real teaspoons because if you've ever seen a real teaspoon, they're really itty-bitty. So after years of using a giant spoon, like a serving spoon, I finally figured out it was 1/4 cup. Next, I'm doing 6 tablespoons of sugar. I tried finding a more exact measurement, like was it like half a cup, but it always went a little under, so this is the best I can do. You can always put less if you don't like it as sweet once you try it and you make it. For us, it's just kind of our interpretation of it. There was never an exact measurement for any of this because again, my great-grandma, my nanny, she just kind of eyeballed it. Next, I'll be taking a 12-ounce box of raisins and adding half the bag. You can add less if you want, but for me, the raisins are the best part. So once everything's in the pot, you're gonna put it on medium heat and stir for like 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes longer, just depending on how your stove is. I've made this a lot recently, so I definitely recommend grabbing a chair, sitting by the stove, and putting on Netflix, your favorite show, maybe read a book if you can. I personally love watching Scooby-Doo while I do this, because it's my favorite show. But yeah, keep on stirring. If you notice that in the beginning that there's like flour clumps or the cinnamon's not really dissolving into the mixture, just keep stirring and give it time. It is really starting to smell good, and I've only been stirring for about 10 minutes now. The reason that we keep stirring for so long is because we don't want any of the ingredients to settle. Like, we don't want the cinnamon to rise to the top and all the raisins to sink to the bottom when it's fully done and thick. Now that it's getting thicker, you'll see the raisins start to stay when you stir them, and it's actually starting to boil just a little bit. So I'm gonna bring my heat down. But basically that means it's almost done, and for some reason it only took me 20 minutes today. I once had the heat too low. It actually took me 50 minutes to make this of stirring, yeah. So just watch your heat. After like 30 minutes, if it's still not solidifying and getting thicker, turn the heat up just a little bit. What we're gonna do is turn the heat off. Take your container that you're gonna put it in, and pour it in. This is very hard by myself. So this is what it looks like when it's done. As you can see, it's a lot thicker. So what I'm gonna do is put some in a bowl for me because I like it hot, and put it in the fridge for a few hours because my mom says it's best when it's cold, but I disagree. So let me know what you think, hot or cold. Bye, California.